Welcome to another episode of Adventures with Edu-Katie. I'm your host, Edu-Katie. Today I'm going to take you guys fishing with me. I've been hooked on fishing since I was a little kid and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to show you all of the basics of fishing so that way you can go fishing on your own in the future. So let's grab our bait and tackle this topic. Like most outdoor recreation activities, you need a few pieces of gear to be successful. These are some of the base essentials you might consider adding to your tackle box. So when you're building all of your tackle box, you don't have to get all of the fanciest or the most expensive gear. As long as it works, you can fish. Once you have all your gear together, it's time to prep it. And who better to help prep our fishing pole than Outdoor August, the outdoor recreation specialist? I wonder where he's at.
Hi everybody, I am Outdoor August. In addition to being Outdoor August, I am also Angler Education Instructor August. So today I'm going to walk you through how to set up the tackle that Katie showed you on your actual fishing pole. We're going to be using a hook, a weight, a bobber, and we've got some bait. This one's a fake bait like a lure. First thing we're going to do is set up our hook. Now, I'm going to show you guys on a bigger hook so that you can actually see what we're doing. Now the knot that we're going to be using today is called the improved clinch knot. Not the only one that you can use, but a very good one. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold your hook and you're going to find the eyelet, all right, and take your line and feed it through, double it back on itself. You're going to take the line that you fed through and you're going to twist it around your main line 5 times, all right? Now it's important to know that you have a little bit of extra because this extra is where you're going to continue your knot. At this point, you're going to feed this loop back through the loop at the very beginning that's next to the hook. That's going to create a second loop in the middle, and you're going to wrap the end through one more time and then pull everything down and tight. And it's going to look like this. That's your improved clinch knot. Well, once you've got your hook ready to go, you can move on to your bobber. You usually want to have about 10 inches or so of the bobber, and it hooks one time down on the bottom and one time on the top. Last piece of your line is you need to have your weight. The weight is going to help keep everything down in the water and not floating around. So you want to have your weight below your bobber. And we can take our pliers and we can squeeze that down. All right, so that's your basic setup here. The last thing you're going to want to do with your hook, especially if you're catch and release fishing, is find the little barb at the end. That part's not needed. For the safety of our fish and of yourselves, we're going to smush that barb down. That way it's friendlier for the fish, is easier to pull out, and less likely to get stuck in your own fingers. We can thread our lure on, and now we're ready to go fishing.
All right, now that we've got all of our gear prepped and we're ready to go fishing, let's talk about the technique. Okay, first thing you want to do is make sure you choose an area that's close to water, so that way you can find some fish. But before you cast, you also want to make sure that there's nothing out in front of you in the water, like kayakers or other animals. You also want to check around you to make sure that you're not going to hit anybody with your pole when you swing it back to cast. And you're going to hold your pole with both hands. You want your dominant hand to be the one that's going to press our button. Okay, since we're using a spin caster, we're going to hold that button down. We're going to pull our rod to the side, and when we take it out in front of us, that's when we're going to let our button go. So again, I'm going to check, make sure there's nobody behind me, push that button, pull my rod back, and let her rip. And now the waiting game begins. Oh, looks like I got one. All right, I got a fish, look at it. All right, now that we've got a fish, we need to make sure that it's the right size. So let's talk about some fishing rules really quickly. So first thing I'm gonna do is make sure I get my fish off my hook. Next thing I wanna do is get the tape measure from my tackle box. Make sure that this fish is the right size for this species. Now when I measure it, I wanna measure it from right at the front of the face to the tail. Now, if you look at the tail, their tail fan kind of fans out. So when you go to measure a fish, you squish their tail fan. And you will see that it's only about 11 inches. Now this is a largemouth bass, and the legal size for a largemouth bass is actually 14 inches. So that means that this fish is not the legal size. So I need to go ahead and put it back. Now within the state of Texas, there are size limits and bag limits for a variety of different species of fish. And to know the size limit and the bag limit for those species of fish, you need to check out the Outdoor Annual. This is the legal documentation that tells you what fish you can take, how big they need to be, and how many you can take per day. Another rule you need to make sure that you follow is having a fishing license. I've got mine right here, okay? You can purchase it at an outdoor recreation store, kind of like Academy. And Texas Parks and Wildlife wants to encourage new fisher people all the time. So every first Saturday of every June, it is free fishing day. So anyone can go fishing every first Saturday in June. So those are the exceptions when you do not need a fishing license. There are several great spaces in Pearland that you can go fishing. One is the Jayhawk Trails right behind me. There's also Centennial Park, Independence Park, and anywhere along Clear Creek. Now remember, if you're fishing in Pearland, a rod and reel are the only legal fishing tools. So I hope to catch you out there, and hopefully today I'll catch more than just a sunburn. See you around!